Welcome back. It's Bot Sadie. This is lesson 54 in Saxon 54. So we're going over the calendar and rounding numbers to the nearest thousand. So if we look at the calendar, I want you to think about for a second, how many months are in a year? Think about it. Hold that number. How many months are in a year? You can say it out loud if you want to. It's 12, right? So there are 12 months in a year. So a year is the length of time it takes the Earth to travel around the sun, right? So each year, Earth goes around the sun. That's how we determine that it's been a year. It's about 365 days in a year. So a day is the length of time that it takes the Earth to spin once on its axis. It takes the Earth almost exactly 365 and 1/4 days to travel around the sun. So to make the number of days in every year a whole number, we went with 365. Though it's technically 365 and 1/4 days. So I think it's coming up this year, actually, but we have a leap year this year, which means that February has 29 days. Yes, that's correct. This year is a leap year. So February normally has 28 days. It's the shortest month of the year, right? So if we remember that, we know that 4 months, so 4 months have 30 days. And all the rest have 31, except February, right? February is the outlier. So February has 28 to 29 days, depending on if it's a leap year or not. A leap year happens every 4 years. So 4 months have 30 days. The rest have 31, except for February. So you may have heard this this jingle, the song before. It says, 30 days hath September, April, June, and November. February has 28 alone. All the rest have 31, except leap year. That's when February's days are 29. So you might say, 30 days hath September, April, June, and November. So the only months that have 30 days are September, April, June, and November. A decade is 10 years. So if you hear someone say, oh, it's been a decade, like I believe this year, Hank, you will be a decade old. You'll be 10 years old. So a decade equals 10 years. And a century is 100 years. So President Nelson is almost a century old. So a century equals 100 years. Okay, example 1. How many days does this December have? If we refer back to our rhyme here, it says 30 days hath September, April, June, and November. So December has 31 days. Example 2. According to this calendar, May 10th, 2014, what day of the week? So, according to this calendar, May 10th. So, let's look at the calendar. When is May 10th? Well, that would be a Saturday. Example 3. How many years were there from 1620 to 1776? So, it says this is a problem about comparing two numbers. So we're going to set it up like a subtraction problem because it says how many years were there from 1620 to 1776. We don't want to get confused here and write this because we're going to get a negative number, which you can't have a negative number of years, right? So we want to put the larger number first. And it's still going to give us the same answer because it's asking how many years are between these two sets of years. So we have 1776 and 1620. So we go 6 minus 0 is 6, 7 minus 2 is 5, 7 minus 6 is 5. Or, goodness gracious, is 1. Oh my word. Okay, 7 minus 6 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So it would be 156 years. Okay. Our next topic here is rounding numbers to the nearest thousand. So Hank, we've worked on rounding numbers to the nearest hundred before, right? Now we're going to look at the thousands place. So we're going to move our page here. So it's example 4 says round 7,836 to the nearest thousand. It's really important where it tells you to round. So it says to the nearest thousand. So this is the thousands place, right? So we look at the rest of this and say, is 836, is it closer to 7,000 or 8,000? The easy way to do this is to look at the second number. And if that number's 5 or greater, you're going to round up. If it's 4 or below, you're going to round down. So this would be 8,000. Example 5, a little bit bigger number here. It says round 34,186 to the nearest thousand. So 34,186 to the nearest thousand. First thing we want to do is find out where are we rounding. So where's the thousands place? Well, there it is, 4. And remember, we're going to look at the number right after it to help us know. So it is a 1. So Hank, think about this. Is this number 5 or greater? No, right? So we're not going to round up to 35,000. We're going to round down because the number is 4 or below. So since it's 1, right, that's 4 or below, then we'll round down to 34,000. Because that's what it's closer to if you think about it, too. 34,186, if we're rounding to the nearest thousand, it's closer to being 34,000 than it is to being 35,000. Okay. Go ahead and complete the following problems here. I want you to do how many days are in a leap year, A, C, and then we got one more that didn't fit on the page that I'd like you to try. So round each number to the nearest thousand here. Let's see. Okay. Round each number to the nearest thousand. She goes 6, 7, 4, 6. 6, 7, 4, 6. So I want you to round this number to the nearest thousand. That will be your problem E, we'll say. So A, C, and E. Pause this video, come back. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. So, A is how many days are in a leap year? Well, there's 365 days in a regular year, right? So in a leap year, there's actually 366, which is what we will get this year. If you think about it, it makes sense because a true year is 365 1/4 days. So that's what we have an extra day every 4 years to make up for that. So 366. C. How many years were there from 1918 to 1943? Remember, put the largest number first because it's a subtraction problem. 19, that looks like a 4. 1943 minus 1918. We're going to have to do some carrying here. We can't, 3 minus 8 can't do that, but we can take 1 from 4, make it a 3. 13 minus 8 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 2. That would be 0. This would be 0. So 25 years. And on to letter E. Round to the nearest thousand. So first, let's identify the thousands place. Well, it's the 6 there. Let's look at the second number. Is the second number above? Is the second number 5 or above? Or is it 4 or below? So it's a 7. So it's, it's either 5 or above. So we know we're going to round up to the next thousand. So that would be 7,000. Okay, you ready for the mixed practice? Best of luck.